Barbershop Conversation, guys. Feel free to hit the subscribe button. So I want to talk about this. I was at the Drew League today, and Game got into a fight with his teammate. You guys have seen it. That shit is viral. That shit is probably on World Star everywhere right now. And you guys saw the play-by-play, but I was actually sitting courtside, literally about 25 feet away from what actually happened. I was in the first seat on the floor. And so you guys get a pretty, which is right at the corner of the baseline and the sideline. And the fight happened at the 28-foot mark in the NBA where they take the ball out and shit. And so 28 feet to be exact. And, you know, they got, I want to explain what happened. And then I'm going to explain my position in this manner. Tough game. Very tough game. 48-50 probably was the score. And everyone's fighting for their life. It's a 4-month season. We're winding down the second to the last week, and his teammates and everybody have been prepared for this moment. And when the going gets tough, well, let me explain what happened. So, anyways, Game gets into a conversation with his teammate, and basically his teammate had just airballed, right? Well, no, let me digress. The Game knocked the ball out of the guy's hands that was taking the ball out, and he got a tee. It was premeditated and everything because he took his time and he did it and he walked off. And his teammate said, calm down, man. We in the game, basically. You know, if you guys play team sports, when you do get a tee, that type of shit. And Game was like, shut up, nigga. You just airballed and I was wide open in the corner. Like, I can hear the whole dialogue. And he's talking shit, basically. Like, calm down, nigga, whatever. But it's his teammate. So Game is behind him and his teammate is halfway looking at him, and Game halfway looking at him, halfway to his back, and unbeknownst to him, Game attacked him and kind of mushed him, half punched him on the side, and Game, and then they squared up and started fighting, and then his friends barraged the guy that was in the fight and knocked the guy down. Now let me talk about this for a second. I always believe, and I've said this in videos in the past, I don't think I've said it recently, but in life, whatever you're preparing for, you want to be the first one off the helicopter when you're preparing for war, and the last person to get on the helicopter before it takes off and you guys head home. And the reason why I said that is because the Drew League is a 4-month season. It's intense. You're playing against pros at every level, overseas, NBA, G League now, and guys like me who just want to play with them if you're good enough, you know what I mean? And at the end of the day, the job is to be a great teammate. And I don't care what anyone say. Pressure busts pipes, and pressure also reveals who you truly are. It reveals your character. And I was dissatisfied. I was sitting there like, I don't want to see this shit. Like you get to a certain age in life where you just want everything at its optimum place, at its optimum position. And I'm 40 years old, so fighting this shit when you're supposed to be playing basketball, I'd rather watch basketball. When I go to a boxing match, I'd rather watch boxing than watch basketball. And at the end of the day, I always say this, and Kenny and I, you guys, since it's a boxing channel, Kenny Porter and I talk about this all the time, about fight night, about fight week. It's fight week. I don't care what your job is in that moment, you got to do that moment. If we talk about the Porter, if this is Sean Porter and he needs water, nigga, get the water. If Sean Porter needs extra tape for his hand wraps, get the tape. If you got to go to the store and get him some fruit snacks or some bubble gum while he's cutting weight, go to the store and get the bubble gum. And then Sunday, after he wins the fight, you may tell the team, hey, listen, I believe I was underused. But not on game day. You don't do shit. My coach told me that a long time ago. He says, Frederick, I was having some problems with one of my teammates, and I was the point guard, right? And I'm the guy that gives them the ball. And when you watch tape, you can feel the energy of what's going on in the game. And we was watching, we was doing film study. I was a big film study guy in high school. And he said I had a free 6th period. You guys know that when you play sports and shit. And I would go to the coach's room and watch sports, see how I did. And he could tell I was dissatisfied with one of my teammates. And he says, he told me this, and it stuck to me. I'm 40 years old, and I still live by this. He says, never on game day, Fred. And they called me Fred Hawthorne back then. Never on game day. And that stuck to me. Do what it takes to win. And when you wake up the next day, then you deal with the issue. Don't let your pride get in the way of your greatness. I'll say it again. Do not let pride get in the way of your greatness, man. There's so many people in this world, and I was a victim of this as well in my early age. I was a better athlete than what people took me for. You understand what I'm saying? I was in the midst of all these great point guards. And I was better than some of them. Wasn't better than all. Wasn't better than Baron Davis. You understand what I'm saying? But I was better than some of these guys that was rated higher than me. And I took it personal. You understand? And when the pride comes to fall, as opposed to me making my teammates better, when I played against these Division I point guards and these bigger, taller guys, I took it personal and I tried to get to the rim. You know what I mean? And I got my shot blocked because I'm going against a 6'9" guy. I get past my guy, and instead of me shooting that in-between 12-foot teardrop jump shot, I would try and get to the rim to prove how strong and how tough I was. And that's what happened today. Game let his personal feelings get in the way of the team goals. And you don't want to do that. You don't want to be that person, because everyone applauded when Game left. Everyone applauded when the announcer said, "We're not here to fight. We're here to watch basketball." And they cheered Game to his car. I don't care how tough you are. People respect what's supposed to happen. There are outliers, but at the end of the day, on a macro level, whatever your job to do, be a Hall of Famer in your role. If your job is to get water, be a Hall of Famer in getting water. If your job is to get water, you bring room temperature water and ice cold water, because you don't know what kind of water they like. You understand what I'm saying? If they said bring me some sparring gloves, you bring 14-ounce gloves and you bring 16-ounce gloves. If it's your job to bring the equipment, be a Hall of Famer in your role. And I know it's tough because we all have pride and we all envision ourselves in special places, right? But when the rubber hits the road, they gonna ask you, did you graduate from college? Nah, I didn't graduate from college because I had a problem with the dean. He didn't like me because I was too black. I was too black power. Okay, well, you're unqualified for this job. You need to go back and when you get your degree, that's when you come back. When you be 45, 46 years old, and you were the greatest athlete in your neighborhood, and they say, why didn't you go pro? Man, I got to college and the coaches didn't like me, man. I was, you know what I mean, I went to Loyola Marymount, I went to UCLA, and, you know, I was the best player on the team, but the coach wouldn't play me, man. He took it personal, man. He didn't like me. And so they gonna, when they leave out of your presence, they gonna say, man, he was a shoulda, coulda, woulda kind of kid. And I just want that, and I know that Game shit is going viral, and I'm going to title it so it hits the masses. But at the end of the day, people are going to ask you, how did you do? What was the end goal? When people say, Game, what happened in the Drew League? Why didn't y'all go back to back? Man, my teammate was tripping, man. He tried to fuck, so I had to knock my team. He going to basically say, had to knock my teammate out. They going to say, you did? But you know what they're really thinking? How could you let your fucking team down on game day? My high school coach told me, Fred, not on game day. And that has stuck with me as I'm 40 years old now. I'll be 41 in 2 months. It has stuck with me for a long ass time. And I tell you guys, never on game day. All right? Be a man. Be accountable. If you play team sports, be the best teammate. Because at the end of the day, people going to ask you, did it work out for you or no? And why? And I genuinely believe they lost because of Game. The energy that it takes, to get rid of that cancer, that means you've lost that energy in attempting to be great, in attempting to win the game. And I don't care if he won or people are going to speculate if he can or can't fight. Maybe I'll do a video on that later, but at the end, but I'll talk about this in this video too. But at the end of the day, man, get whatever the goal is, and if you're really, really capable of accomplishing that goal, accomplish that goal. All right, because that shit was disgusting today, man. I go to the Drew League not to watch fights. I go to Drew League to watch 3,000 alpha males in the gym. Yeah, we used to be good basketball players and shit. Well, why your ass ain't on the court? Nigga, because I'm fat now. No, but at the end of the day, I go there for fellowship. That's my church every week. I don't go. I don't belong officially on no one's roster at the church. So in the summertime, you guys know I talk about this shit a lot on this channel. That's what I do every summer, man. I go to the Drew League, and I go as much as I can. I try and take my son as much as possible because I want him to grow up in that kind of environment, in that type of competitive, thick environment. You understand what I'm saying? And I don't go there to watch two teammates fight. You understand? That's ours. We own that. You understand? That shit's gonna go viral right now, and people are gonna say they fighting at the Drew. We don't need that shit there. And I'm not speaking for the Drew. I'm speaking as a fan of the Drew. You know, although I know who runs it and I have no affiliation to them, but I've been going there for goddamn 20 years now, basically. You know what I mean? So ever since I've been an adult, ever since I've known basketball in LA, I've gone. You know, and you know, it's just special for us. And at the end of the day, do what's best. And I know I'm speaking from this from a like metaphysical perspective. I'm not talking about the actual event, but you guys get where I'm coming from with this. Man, accomplish the goal. Their job was to go back-to-back champions, and he let his teammates down. Game let his teammates down. He has the back-to-back MVP of the league. He will be a 3-time MVP this year, and he let his teammates down. But I keep it real. I'll keep it real funky, 100 with you. They were happy he was gone. They were happy the game was gone. They played better, but they had to recover to play better. They had to make up what they lost and then play better. And it was they lost by 2 points, 74-72. But they actually played better. So they were really, really relieved. You understand? And I want to double down on this too. When Games got into that fight, his teammates came onto the court and bum rushed the guy that was going to fight Game. See the collateral damage and negativity? Imagine if that was a different environment and we had the police and everyone else there. All the motherfuckers go to jail. All the motherfuckers go to jail for the accessory to a crime, whatever you want to call it. I don't know what the criminal ways is. And that's why people say, if you show me your 5 closest friends, I'll show you the rest of your life. I don't want to be around that energy. I really, really don't. And some of you have people like that in your life. You got to get to them. Sometimes you got to leave people to make them better. I'll say that again. Sometimes you have to leave people to make them better. And right now, all his teammates are at home in their silent moments is like, man, Game is a fuck up. He fucked up our season. He couldn't, when boiling point got to his max, he erupted. He didn't stay calm. He didn't stay zen. He erupted and got selfish. Whenever you lose track of the team goals, you're considered selfish. You're a Cancer. You know? And at the end of the day, I want to win championships. I won 2 championships in college. I was backup on football, and we had a great run. Do I think I should have played more? Yeah, I was a great athlete, you know? But I got 2 championships. like, you know, I'll be able to take my son and say, because we're in the Hall of Fame at our school, I'm in the team picture and I participated. I was an asset to the team. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know, at the end of the day, man, be a great teammate. You know what I mean? And never on game day. Whether you're taking a final in college, whether you're taking a final in trade school, whether you're actually being a teammate, whether you're actually preparing to actually fight in a boxing match. Be a great teammate and never on game day. Never on fight night, all right? And let this be a lesson learned, man. You know what I mean? And now that I'm off that, let me talk about this. I said this when Pac-Man Jones had to fight. I'm being as real as I can. Teach your kids how to fight. Teach your kids how to defend themselves. I'm not coming from, I would have fucked Game up and this. That's not where I'm coming from with this. I'm just telling all my parents out there. Teach your kids how to defend themselves. If you teach your kid, I'm telling you, it's like teaching your kids how to defend themselves is like having a college degree. Right? It raises your pay another zero. I would assume. I don't know what the pay is, but I'm pretty sure. I think last I checked, with a college degree, you make 70% more than everyone else in America or something like that. That's basically what happened. I don't care how much you weigh, how tall you are, how skinny you are. If you are able to defend yourself, you're going to get into a fight, right? Or the threat of a fight a handful of times throughout your life, because the law averages say that. I'm not saying where I come from, shit. I mean, in the summertime when all the kids are fucking home, shit, what, you gonna fight once a week? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? But in my adult life, I haven't had a fight in like 18 months. So, you know what I mean? But that was on some self-defense shit. But at the end of the day, parents, listen to guardians, grandparents. Teach your kids how to defend themselves. Don't teach your kids like, oh, go in there and be a fight and learn how to break niggas' arms. That's not where I'm coming from. Because I saw the fight. I saw a Game fight, and I saw him drop his head. I saw Game drop his head, and I says, I would never drop my head in a fight. I don't give a fuck. I would never do that in the fight. Uppercut, left hook. Like, I have cues, like whatever. I'm not saying I can whoop your ass, but I'm saying whatever you do, I have something for it. He's going to throw a right hand. I'm going to slip that right hand and hook the shit out of this motherfucker. Or body shot. Like, I have cue. I'm not saying I can execute it, but I'm saying if you prepare your kids how to fight, and they will be well prepared for that moment. It's like when you shoot 1,000, 2,000 jump shots in the gym and then you go perform the next day, you're well prepared, right, to make that shot. Or when you're preparing for an exam in college. I'm not saying go out and say, I'm going to challenge the game. I'm going to challenge some big dudes how to fight. That's not where I'm coming from. I'm saying if you're prepared and you know how to fight, know how to defend yourself, you can stay calm. You understand? You know how to combat when you're facing adversity. And I'm just looking at what the fuck is going on. I'm like, this shit, first of all, it's disgusting. He shouldn't fighting. And two, he fought like an amateur. And that's where I'm coming from. And I know he's a big, strong, burly guy, so there are such things as weight class. So if he hits a guy like me, I'm going to have a different reaction than the guy who weighs 220 pounds. I understand all of that. But what I'm saying is, imagine just being able to have the ability to slip punches so you can get away. Not to fight. That's what I'm saying. Be prepared. You understand what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, man, I'm telling all my parents out there, prepare your kids, man. Please prepare your kids. All right, teach them how to fight. Teach them how to defend themselves. I'm not saying teach your kid to go out and beat the kids up in the neighborhood. That's not where I'm coming from. But teach your kids how to fight. Anyways, man, Barbershop Conversations, man. Feel free to hit the subscribe button. Have a great Sunday. Hope you guys had a great weekend. It was awesome. And making a U-turn. And I'll talk to you guys soon. I appreciate you guys, man. But now lastly, be a great teammate, never on fight night, and your character in your home. As men, I'm telling you, as men, protect your home. You should always be the first one off the helicopter and the last one to get on. Protect your family financially, spiritually, emotionally. All right, I'll holla. Peace.